Chapter 2. Spending those few years in the woods turned out to be very helpful to my survival skills. Maneuvering through tall trees helped out with my speed, and feasting off the blood of animals helped control my thirst. I tested how much control I had by going to a nearby town and getting haircuts. After 2 years, I felt invincible. As I was walking past a shop admiring my reflection, I noticed a flyer in the window for an orphanage called the Whammy House. There was a map on the flyer, so I took it and eventually wound up at a large iron gate. I opened them cautiously, and a rather old man walked out from the main building to greet me. "Ah, Kenji, we have been expecting you. My name is Watari." Anger surged through my body. How did this old man already know me? "Hold the phone, old man. How on earth do you know who I am?" "I know all about you, young Kenji," he said, chuckling. My good friend is expecting you, so why don't we take a look around?" As we walked through the long hallways, there were kids roaming everywhere. The only thing I noticed is that I could hear their thick, juicy blood pulsing through their veins. I felt my thirst returning at full speed. Watari looked at me and looked happy? He laughed lightly. "No need to get stressed, my young friend. I know of some kids who can help you with that. Why, there they are right now." He pointed to a trio of kids sitting around a table. "Why don't you go introduce yourself?" But I never responded because my legs were already carrying me over to the table. There was a boy and 2 girls. One of the girls was hanging all over the boy. My attention was focused on the single girl. She was so beautiful. "Hello, Kenji," said the girl. "Why don't you sit with us?" I couldn't speak. The boy was staring at me like he wanted to kill me, and then I got a massive headache like someone was poking my brain. "Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? My name is Alice Cullen. This is my brother and sister Edward and Bella." She looked at Edward and saw him staring at me. "Edward! Can't you go one day without poking through someone's mind?" "Well, I'm so sorry, but it's not like I can help it." He took Bella's hand and stormed off. "I'm sorry about that, Kenji. Edward doesn't like newcomers," she said with a voice that was equivalent of 1,000 angels. I said, blushing. "Why does everyone here already know about me?" She giggled. "I know all about you because I'm psychic. Watari knows about you because Elle told him about you." "Elle?" "Everything will make sense when you meet him." She got up and kissed my cheek. My insides went crazy and my blush beet red. Watari walked up and touched my shoulder. "Come, Kenji, we want to meet Elle." Who was this Elle guy? We were walking for what seemed like hours until we came to a door with a big L on it. "Through here." Watari opened the door. Chapter 3. As I entered the fairly large room, I spotted a young man, a few years older than myself. He was hunched over a computer and eating a piece of cake. He looked dull and bland. I tried to make the best of it. Hello. My name is..." I started, but he interrupted. "Kenji, yes, I know. I've been searching for you for a long time." The man cut in, slowly gazing up at me. He had very dark eyes with even darker bags under them, like he hadn't slept in a year. His hair was a big mess of black. His shirt was plain white and his pants were plain blue jeans. Yep, very bland. "Why do you want me here?" I dared to ask. The man stood up and walked over to me. He was still hunched over like his spine grew incurved. He looked at me with a smile. "Excuse my rudeness. My name is Elle. I am what you may say the leader of the Whammy House, home to gifted orphans." He slowly walked back to his computer. This pissed me off. I'm not gifted. I'm cursed. This made him smile even more. "Do you even know what power you have, Kenji?" "Yes, I have the power to hurt people." I looked away from him so he wouldn't see the pain in my eyes. This frustrated him. "Do you mind if I do a little test?" But before I could object, he hit a button and metal clamps came out of the floor and secured my legs to the ground. "What the hell is this?" I screamed, trying to break loose with little success. "Don't bother trying to escape. Every gifted child goes through this," Elle said, looking at me intently while nibbling on his thumbnail. "Now tell me, Kenji, why did you come here?" "I don't know." "Did you feel guilty for what you've done?" "What are you talking about?" I asked, nervously, feeling the anger rise within me. "Are you guilty for letting the thirst take over? Are you upset that you fed off your only parents?" Elle said menacingly. "Shut up, you crazy bastard! You have no idea what I went through!" I screamed, wishing he would stop, but the bile of anger surged through my body. "And what's worse, you burned down your only house, casting yourself into the cruel, cold world." "That's it. I formed my anger into an intense ball and forced it out on L. The energy caught him by surprise and was thrown backwards against his computer, which broke on impact. I locked on him with a desire to kill him, and if a voice in the back of my head didn't tell me to stop, didn't tell me to focus on something else, I would have. I focused on his cake and watched it burst into flames. L got up and brushed himself off, went over to his control station, and released me. Thank you. Now you know what kind of powers you have. To move things with my mind? Exactly! You are by far the most advanced vampire I have ever met. Now I have work to do. Good day. Watari escorted me out of the room and into the dorm part of the house. This is your dorm. Treat it like your own. You will find your schedule somewhere in your room, Watari explained. Wait. Do you mean I still have to go to school? I said with disbelief. Of course! This isn't a vacation, he left chuckling. I entered my bland room. It had a bed, a desk, and an entertainment center. I heard music coming from next door, so I decided to say hi to my new neighbor. I knocked on the door, and a familiar angelic voice answered. It's open, Alice called. I opened the door, and a spicy smell flooded my nostrils. I couldn't help but smile and inhale more. She got up and hugged me. Hi, Kenji. I've been expecting you. Huh? Silly, I had a premonition that I would find my true love today. She continued to smile and didn't let go of me. It took me a minute to register what she was saying. Me? Duh! I reached down to touch her cheek and turned to leave. She grabbed my arm and turned me around. Don't you like me? She asked worriedly. Isn't it obvious? I couldn't take my eyes off you when I saw you today, I said, blushing. She smiled wickedly and jumped into my arms. She nuzzled my neck. I like you too. I gently put her down and sprinted to the end of the hall, wishing the moment would never end. I quietly whispered, See you again, mi amor. Alice watched me run down the hall sadly, still feeling the warmth of my embrace. She said quietly, Yes. See you soon, Kenji.